Good evening. The Easter weekend is drawing to a close and many of you will have suffered from the rain and cold conditions. We now have two reports on how people have been spending Easter. In a minute, Kate Prout takes a look at what some of the holidaymakers in the west of the region have been up to. But first, Jim Rice has been to the seaside to see how people there fared.
It's fair to say Great Yarmouth seafront will have seen busier bank holiday Mondays, but then it's fair to say it'll have seen warmer ones too. The region's tourist industry hopes this summer's season will bring with it a much-needed pot of gold. And a brisk trade on the pier suggests that may be the case.
It's been good. Friday wasn't too good because of the weather, but Saturday, Sunday and today has been good.
As Easter is so early, it's been fairly good, so I'm not knocking it.
At Kentwell Hall near Sudbury, a Tudor recreation was the main attraction, complete with costumes, crafts and a cookery demonstration. The Tudors never had to contend with traffic jams, of course, but the queues were good news for the hall's owner, putting in a shift on the entrance gate.
Today is busy. Other days the cold and the weather forecasts, which were not accurate for us, have rather held us back. But today is obviously different. Thank you, two persons.
Patrick was clearly having a busy day, and that was the case too on the Suffolk coast, at the RSPB's Minsmere Bird Reserve. A rare sighting of a lesser kestrel, sending visitor numbers soaring over the weekend.
We've had over 1,500 people here at Minsmere over this bank holiday weekend, so the weather's been very good to us, which is good. Wildlife on the Suffolk coast is one of the best in the country as a whole, so lots of people do come here and to Minsmere specifically.
Back at Great Yarmouth, a different kind of race marked this out as Family Fun Day at the racecourse, a chance for organisers to attract a new crowd through the gates.
Obviously the younger generation are the future for racing as a business, and if you keep the children happy and give them plenty to do, then the parents are going to have a good day as well.
For some, of course, race day means work. Top jockeys Frankie Dettori and Kieran Fallon provided the star attraction. The crowd's here to see them, suggesting the summer season is indeed off and running. Jim Rice, Anglia News, Great Yarmouth.
Well, cloudy skies and showers were the order of the day in the west of our region as well. But that certainly didn't stop people taking to the great outdoors, as Kate Prout has been finding out.
It looks like an ordinary fair, but with more wellies and a lot more animals. This is the two-day Kelmarsh Country Fair in Northamptonshire, where mud is positively welcomed.
It's a great thing about country people, you know, they put on a pair of wellies and turn their collars up and they still come out in force, so actually it brings the best out of people sometimes, inclement weather.
Some of you were probably expecting us to have sheep today, but due to the DEFRA rules and regulations, we have just geese.
In its 24th year, this is the first countryside event of the year, a chance to show off some sheepdog skills and hawk for trade with more than 250 stalls around the site. Being landlocked didn't stop hundreds taking to the water at Foxton Locks near Market Harbour today. Not just to watch boaters take on the strangely mesmerising task of navigating the staircase of 10 locks, but to sample a bit of life on the Grand Union Canal.
Cloudy, you know, they'll still come out in their hordes.
Yeah. If you've got a good product, they'll come out and try and this, that and the other. And it's not just us. I mean, there's lots of things to see and do, especially around here.
It's a very busy place. They come out twice in a weekend.
Yes. Foxton Locks is very, very busy.
Popular.
Yeah.
Built in 1810, the locks are now a major tourist attraction, as well as a stop-off point for business.
My name's Graham Phillips and I run TIA, and we sell environmentally friendly products to boaters mainly. It's a family day out. It's lovely. It's we've had little children of 2 and 3 years old, and they buy the duck food that we sell as well for the ducks, which is obviously better for the ducks than the bread. All the way through to older people.
It's what we do best, making the most of a bank holiday, whatever the weather. Kate Prout, Anglia News.
In other news now, it's been claimed an East Anglian Euro MP outlined ways potential supporters could bypass election rules and keep details of large donations secret. An undercover reporter for a national newspaper claims Stuart Agnew suggested funds could be channelled through an unincorporated association set up by the UKIP party leader. The Norfolk farmer is planning to contest the Broadland constituency in the general election. UKIP says all donations have been reported to the Electoral Commission. Now, more people are carrying out DIY or gardening work this Easter than having a break away from home. On average, homeowners have spent around 15 hours over this weekend doing a mixture of DIY, gardening and decorating jobs. But as Tom Barton's been finding out, those small do-it-yourself jobs can often come at a cost.
So it's Easter weekend and you've got the power tools out, but if, well, like me, you don't really know what you're doing, maybe you should seriously think about whether a spot of DIY is going to be good for your wealth and your health.
One man who knows all too well how much an overambitious DIY project can cost is Southend plumber Chris Brown. He frequently finds himself on emergency call-outs, fixing other people's DIY disasters.
I've seen ceilings come through, collapse on their beds, waterlogged the actual bed, all their furniture in their bedrooms. The lights have gone out because they've gone through electricity as well. And, you know, it's not just the water damage for the pipe and the cost of the plumber, it's all the other stuff that's ruined, the bed, the furniture, the carpet. You know, it just goes on and on, just for a simple DIY job.
But it's not just your house you could be harming. Stephen Hughes runs the Accident and Emergency Department at Colchester Hospital. He's seen a rise in the number of people turning up with serious DIY injuries.
Some very nasty injuries. Angle grinders in particular, if in the wrong hands, can lead to wounds which have nasty chewed up edges and which heal very poorly, and can also do a lot of damage to bone and other structures, and far more than the sharper implement would. I've got one chap on my books who very nearly took his arm off. He divided his forearm at the wrist with a circular saw, and that required a major procedure to reconstruct it. Fortunately, they were able to save it.
According to the Royal Society for the Prevention of Accidents, you're most likely to hurt yourself with a saw, a knife or an angle grinder. The message from those who'll be fixing up your house or your body after a DIY disaster is, if you're not sure what you're doing, then just don't do it. Tom Barton, Anglia News, Chelmsford.